Hi friends, welcome back to the Common Sense Grandma. My name is Michelle. Thank you for taking time out of your day to spend a little bit of time with me here. Today we are going to be talking about my top 20 must pantry items I need to keep on hand at all time. Because with these items, we can make all kinds of meals, and I think they're just things that's good to keep on hand to keep your pantry stocked, to make dinner time or breakfast or lunch easier for you. You know, the point in cooking for our family, it's not to do gourmet meals every day. That would be hard. And I don't think most of you, or myself included, have time for that. But we do want to make sure that we are feeding our family well. The point is to just make sure you have good, nutritious food on hand. And with these items that we're going to talk about today, many of them are multi-purpose. You know, with sugar, you can make all kinds of different types of sugar with just one sugar. You can make brown sugar, you can make powdered sugar, you can just, use it as regular sugar. So with that, let's talk about my top items. Now, what I did here, I made some notes. This is my notebook for YouTube. And then I typed it out so I don't forget anything. But I think we're going to start with, let's say, the proteins. Not everything I'm going to talk about is everything you must have. You know, there are some other items that you're going to need, like frozen vegetables, frozen meat if you eat meat, those types of things, condiments. Some of these items that we're going to talk about today, you can, let's say, make mayonnaise from. You probably have everything. I actually don't usually make mayonnaise. I know how. We don't use a whole lot of mayonnaise in this house. I wouldn't say that we use it every day, but it's, nice to have if you're going to make a tuna salad sandwich, things like that. But let's talk first about some proteins. And so we have beans here. I have canned beans. You can buy canned beans, garbanzos, black beans. These are lentils. Those are all items that you can make many meals from. You can make bean patties. You can make lentil soup, black bean soup. Use black beans for Taco Tuesday, things like that. There's all kinds of things. Chili, you must have beans for chili, right? At least that's how I make it. But the other items to go with that I have is the dry beans, the canned beans. And then we have some canned proteins here. We've got canned salmon. This is another canned salmon, a smaller one. When it's just my husband and I, one of these is generally good for us. If I'm making, let's say, salmon patties, that is something that my husband loves. And so I do make salmon patties. They're not hard. I don't even measure when I'm making it. I just put, open the can, drain the water out, put it in the bowl and flake it a little bit, take out some of the bones. They do say that eating the bones in there, because they are soft, has good calcium. I don't like to have all the bones in there, but they are very soft. You probably won't even notice them. But you just add an egg, some seasonings, onion, breadcrumbs, things like that. You've got salmon patties that you can just fry up. So these are both salmon. Of course, we have to have tuna. There's so many things that you can do with tuna, from tuna salad. You can also make tuna patties. You can put some tuna in your green salad to add some protein. Same with beans. I put beans in our salads all the time. So there's, beans, and these canned meats here are very versatile. I also have some canned chicken. I probably should look at the date. Oh, it's expired only 2 months ago. That's okay. I usually can my own chicken, so that's why I didn't keep on top of that. Need to eat that up. Then we have eggs. So many things you can do with eggs to make a meal. And then your nut butters. We go through a lot of peanut butter here. Oldest grandson likes to add peanut butter to yogurt and put fruit, bananas, maybe some granola, all kinds of things like that for his protein fix, either at night or in the morning. But also just peanut butter on toast in the morning with a little honey. My husband and I have that almost every morning to go with our oatmeal. There's many, you can even use peanut butter in, I made Rice Krispie treats yesterday. I add peanut butter to it because I do like it with peanut butter. You can also make patties with that, with peanut butter. I've done that a long time ago. I think I used oats, things like that, but not my favorite. But there's a lot of versatile uses for peanut butter besides peanut butter sandwich. What else do we have on here? Okay, that's all of that for those items there. Now, let's talk about our grains and carbs. So we have rice. Here's how I store my rice. I do have, you know, the 5-gallon bucket. I'm putting my hand down like I'm touching it, but it's not here. It's in the back of the house. I stopped storing it that way because we don't go through that much rice anymore. And we also have white rice. This is jasmine. And then we also have brown rice, jasmine. Now, your brown rice, you need to eat that more often because it does not last as long as your white rice. But I found I can just buy the 10-pound bag at Aldi, Sam's Club, different places to get rice. It's not expensive, and that's such a stretcher. And again, there's so many meals that you can make with this. You can do fried rice. Besides adding the rice to your meal, you know, the side, whatever it is you're having, there's just many things you can do with rice. You can use it as a stuffing. You can even put it in soup. So we do have rice on hand all the time because we go through a lot of rice. Let me move this. Next, oatmeal. Sorry, something kept flashing outside. It's the Amazon truck at my neighbor's. Anyway, oatmeal. This holds a lot. I think it's 20 cups. This container here, this is a Tupperware. I've had it for, I don't know, probably 9-10 years. But I do buy oatmeal by the 25-pound bag from Azure Standard. This is organic oats. I only buy the rolled oats, the whole grain organic. I make all kinds of things with this. In fact, I'm going to make my husband oatmeal cookies today, I think. Or I'll just buy them at Trader Joe's today. We'll see. I was waiting for the rain to stop so I can go out. I need to go do a little shopping. And then, of course, we have flour. This is all-purpose flour. This flour I buy either from Costco because it's organic or from Azure Standard. Costco has a very good deal, and Azure Standard does also. But you know, with your flour, it depends on how much you bake or use your flour, but of course you can make pancakes. You can make bagels. I'm looking at my breads here. I make our bread. This is yesterday's loaf, and it's like a half and half. I use 2 cups of whole wheat flour, 1.5 cups of all-purpose. So it's a very light bread, but it still has some whole wheat. You can do English muffins. There's so many cookies. You can do so many things with flour that you must have on hand. I also keep probably equal amounts of whole wheat flour because of the bread making. I don't like to buy bread. When you read the ingredients, you might prefer to make your own bread. And to make it easier, I know a lot of you work, you don't have time. In fact, my older daughter had mentioned to me the other day, she's like, Mom, I don't have time because she works full time. I don't have time to make bread, so got her a bread maker. Now, I use my bread maker all the time, but I don't bake it in there. I just have it on, I use the dough cycle so I can be doing other things. And I still bake it in a regular loaf pan in the oven because I just think it comes out better. But it doesn't take me but 2 or 3 minutes to get all the items in the bread maker, press a button. It takes 1 hour and 50 minutes, and then I put it in the bread pan, let it rise again, and then bake it. And if I'm home, no big deal. It doesn't take that much time. So I think, oh, pasta. Gotta have pasta. This is a small amount left. I also buy most of my pasta at Costco because they have organic semolina pasta there. And I did get a pasta machine for Christmas. I haven't tried it yet. I need to try it. It's an attachment for the KitchenAid. I've got my KitchenAid over there. And so I do need to learn how to do that. My other daughter-in-law, she makes pasta all the time, and she sent me her recipe, so I will need to try that. I'm looking forward to that. So those, oh, also on my list. Okay, so we have rice, pasta, rolled oats, flour, and potatoes. Gotta have potatoes. In fact, we had baked potatoes last night, and that was so good. I haven't had a baked potato for a while, so that was delicious. But there's so many meals you can make with all of those ingredients. Now we're going to do our cooking foundations, let's say. So we have your oils, olive oil, avocado oil. Gotta have those. And then we have onions, garlic, bell peppers. So onions and garlic. And in a pinch, use the garlic in the jar. I do. Why not? Then some bouillon. This is better than bouillon. This is a vegetarian one. I used up the chicken one. This is a new one I'm just trying. It's called Orrington Farms beef broth. I can't talk. Orrington Farms broth base beef. It's backwards to me. Should be beef broth. Anyway, it's a powder. I've tried it once. It was good. This is beef broth that I had made yesterday. I haven't even written on it yet. I need to do that. Soy sauce. With my husband being Filipino, we need to have soy sauce, but we don't use soy sauce every day at all. We don't keep it on the table. There's no pouring soy sauce all over your food. That's not a good habit. And that his family did that, but there's a lot of sodium. I do buy the low sodium soy sauce. There's a lot of sodium in there, so we don't put it on the food, because to me that takes away the flavor of what I did on making it. So we don't do that. Anyway, but we do cook with it. Coconut milk. Gotta have coconut milk for, let's say, curries, things like that. That's, important. Gotta have that. And then your seasonings and spices. Of course, salt and pepper. I just dropped. This one is Italian seasoning. If that's all you can afford, get Italian seasoning, because you can use that in many, many recipes. And then what do we have here? Okay, this is where I added in sugar, because I was thinking, this is part of your foundation also, is you have to have sugar. Now, this is one of the sugars that you can get. This is pure cane sugar. I don't buy the white sugar that's bleached and whatever else they do to it. I don't know. So this is how I store my sugar. If you can see that. It's not real white, but that's okay. But with this sugar, if you need powdered sugar, you can just put it in your good blender. If you have a Vitamix, it does work. I've done it before. And I've made brown sugar. I prefer just to buy the brown sugar, because it takes like 6 or 7 minutes in the KitchenAid. You just use sugar and molasses. It's not hard, but it's one more thing to wash. I do just buy that instead. But it is nice to have. And then I still added on here honey. So this is your sweeteners. And then you've got to have canned tomatoes. I think they're in my next little section here. You've got to have canned tomatoes and vinegar. I didn't pull the vinegar out. But with canned tomatoes, you can make, of course, spaghetti. You can make so many things with canned tomatoes. You can just put them in soups. So with all of these items here, you can make many meals. You can make soups. You can make chili, let's say. Of course, you need to have your meat in your freezer and some frozen vegetables. But to me, these are the main things that you need to have a good, well-stocked pantry. And then from there, you can, of course, add all your other items that you need. But to me, these are the main items that I pull from all the time. In fact, I think tonight I might make my husband lentils, and he likes salmon patties with it. And then he eats that on rice. And that's actually one of his favorite meals. And so it's just so easy to throw that all together, make an easy meal. It's inexpensive. I think these small salmon this is star-kissed in water. I think it was $2.10, $2.25 maybe. That's not bad. And the lentils are, you know, they're very, very inexpensive. But I just thought it would be fun to talk a little bit about what I keep in my pantry to keep, you know, food going all the time. I can always pull something together out of that. And last night we had a freezer meal that I had made a few videos ago. I think it was the Italian chicken. It had Italian dressing in it. It was so good. It was, my husband goes, I love this. Now, I did not put it in the Instant Pot or crock pot. I put it in a 9x13 because it was pretty, it had like a lot of, maybe because the chicken had been frozen, so it was quite a bit of broth there. So I just put it in the oven and baked it, and it was so, so delicious. It's really good. In fact, I'm gonna have that for lunch today, the leftovers. But I was very happy about the freezer meal. How you know, I was wondering how it's gonna turn out, and it was very, very yummy. So I would like to know from you, friends, what do you keep in your pantry that I missed? I would love to know. Maybe something else that I need to start cooking with that I don't know about. But let me know in the comments below. I would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. That would be awesome. And I will also have this list in the notes below, so you can look at that and see maybe what you need to put in your pantry if you're missing it. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.